Welcome back. In sports news, Nigeria's women's 100 meters record holder Blessing Okagbare Igoteguno has failed to qualify for the final of the event at the IAAF World Championships. At the Olympic Stadium in London, Okagbare ran 11.08 seconds to place fourth in the third semi-final of the 100 meters event and missed out on securing a spot for the final. She failed to overcome a sloppy start in her efforts to close the gap on leaders Tori Bowie of the USA, African record holder Muriel Ahure, and of Cote d'Ivoire and Trinidad's Michelle Lee Aye did not yield the desired result. The 28-year-old had failed to make the final of the event at the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil last year. Plateau United remain on top of the Nigeria Professional Football League table after 33 matches, despite being forced to a 1-1 draw in Kano by Pillars, while title rivals MFM were held to a goalless draw by Enyimba in Lagos. Shooting Stars of Ibadan eased relegation worries by beating Gombe United 2-1 in Ibadan, while ABS defeated Remo Stars 2-0 in Ilorin. Elsewhere, Abia Warriors secured a priceless 4-2 away victory Lobby Stars, while Wiki Tourists were forced to a 1-0 draw by Enugu Rangers. Ifeanyi Uba, Niger Tornadoes and Sunshine Stars all won their match at home with a similar 1-0 scoreline. The Confederation of African Football's President Ahmed says Cameroun still needs to convince CAF of its ability to host the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations. An inspection team will visit Cameroun later this month, and CAF insists it will put much weight behind the reports it receives from the inspection team. Now, observers believe that this is a clear hint from the CAF that Cameroun could be stripped of hosting rights for the newly extended event. The 2019 Nations Cup will feature 24 teams instead of 16. Arsenal has begun the season with a 4-1 penalty shootout victory against Chelsea in the Community Shield at Wembley. The Gunners hit the post through £45 million striker Alexander Lacazette's 18-yard curler before Victor Moses bundled Chelsea ahead shortly after half-time. Chelsea's Pedro was sent off for lunging tackle with 10 minutes left. Arsenal debutant Seed Kolasinac heading in 88 seconds later to force penalties. Chelsea missed twice as Olivier Giroud slotted in for a shootout win. Kenya's Jeffrey Kipkori Kirui prevailed in a compelling East African duel with Ethiopian Tamirat Tola on the streets of London to win the men's marathon at the World Athletics Championships. Kirui finally broke Tola, the fastest man in the field, with 5 miles of the 26.2-mile course left after they had gone head-to-head over the second half of the race. Kenya's 5th men's world championship at the distance eventually crossed the line at Tower Bridge in 2 hours, 8 minutes, 27 seconds, finishing 1 minute and 22 seconds ahead of Tola. Honda's reigning MotoGP world champion Marc Marquez has won his 2nd consecutive race and 3rd of the season at the Czech Grand Prix to extend his lead in the championship as teammate Dani Pedrosa finished 2nd. With light rain at the Brno circuit, riders started with wet tires, but as the track dried up, Marquez was one of the first to change the slicks and it paid off, with Spaniard gaining a significant lead over his rivals. Dani Pedrosa finished 2nd, while Yamaha's Maverick Vinales completed the podium. Aid agencies in the Democratic Republic of Congo have confirmed dozens of people, probably numbering 50, have been killed during recent clashes between ethnic groups in the country. Though the country has been plagued by violence the better part of the year, with hundreds killed and millions displaced as a fallout of a political crisis caused by President Joseph Kabila refusing to step down. Recent violence has been between a group of Twa pygmies who attacked the Luba, a Bantu ethnic group. The pygmies who live in the Great Lakes region have fought the Luba for decades over what activists say are inequalities between Bantu villagers and the Twa hunter-gatherers. The UN is concerned the violence is spiraling out of control, worsened by the political crisis, as hopes that fresh elections could be conducted this year dim. Venezuelan authorities have been arresting those who may have led a soldiers' uprising against President Nicolás Maduro. Video posted online shows uniformed men saying they were rising against a murderous tyranny. An attack was launched against a military barracks in Valencia, northwest of Carabobo state. According to senior military officer Remigio Ceballos, 7 people have been arrested in connection with the uprising. Army Chief General Jesus Suarez Chorio has described what happened today as a terrorist, paramilitary, mercenary attack paid for by the opposition and its collaborators, blaming what he calls the North American empire in reference to the US, which denounced President Nicolás Maduro's actions. At least 50 people have been killed in northern Afghanistan following an attack by insurgents at a security post in the Sayat district of Sar El Pul province. It's still unclear who the attackers were, but the Taliban has claimed responsibility for the attack. Fighting has intensified across Afghanistan in recent months, the UN saying more than 1,662 civilians have been killed in the first half of this year alone. The country's chief executive, Dr. Abdullah, in a tweet today condemned the attack, describing it as insane, inhuman and barbaric. Staying in the Middle East, the Israeli government wants Qatari broadcaster Al Jazeera in the country shut down and its journalist media credentials revoked. The government says the channel supports terrorism and that both its Arabic and English language channels would be taken off air. The decision is based on a similar ban led by Saudi Arabia and 3 other Gulf states against Qatar over allegations it is supporting terrorism. Israeli Communications Minister Ayub Kara says the TV provider had agreed to take the network off the air, but the closing its Jerusalem bureau would need further legislation. The network's editor in Jerusalem, Gilles Trendle, has accused Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of collusion with his autocratic Arab neighbors in an attack on free and independent media. And the main news again, there was bloodbath in Anambra State today. At least 12 people were killed following an attack by gunmen on a church in Ozubulu town. Also today, the police have vowed to capture the perpetrators of the church attack in Anambra State, just as President Buhari has condemned the attack, describing it as wicked. More than 50 people were today reportedly killed in clashes between ethnic groups in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. That's News at 10 tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani. Good night.